Hello and welcome back to another exciting and soon-to-be classic edition of Homestead Friends. I am Brad from the Big Family Homestead, and I am here with a special person. Oh my gosh, there's only one word, and that is amazing. Eric from Life and Farmland channel. How are you, sir?
Very good. How about yourself?
Oh, dude, I'm living the dream. What can I say? How's that? How's things going up there in the frigid north?
It's progressing along. I see you guys already have dandelions starting to pop, so the ground's got to be getting close to being ready to plant in your area.
Well, I don't think so. They say that you shouldn't put anything into the ground until after Mother's Day.
Okay.
And
That's
trust me, I've been bitten by that. I've been bitten 2 years ago. I'm like, oh, what could hurt by going in a couple weeks early? And sure enough, we got an early frost and killed off all of our early plants.
We've done that a handful of times. We usually they say for us it's the end of May, so it's a couple weeks out here for us still.
So, all right, for the people who don't know your channel, which first of all, if you don't know Eric's channel, you need to get over there. He does some really, really good filming, and I'm really impressed with the way that he cuts his videos together because it just compels you to watch it. And he's got a camera that looks really great, and he's a good storyteller. So if you don't know Eric's channel, get over there. You'll appreciate the beautiful scenery too. But for those of these viewers who might not know who you are and what you do, give us the 411 on life in farmland.
We've done a lot of firewood videos. We're planning on doing a bunch more kind of raising animals and a little bit more gardening videos this year. We're just a family that's just looking for a slower pace of life. We've moved out to the country, been out here for the last 5 years, and we're not a fast move. We want to live within our budget, and every year we kind of move a little closer to kind of becoming more independent and stuff, and we just kind of document some of that. So
that's pretty cool. So you're saying that you were a city guy, and now you're transitioning into a rock and roll country rock star. So
yeah,
tell me how that happened.
Well, we've been out about 5 years now. The economy has started taking a dive, and I work for a fairly large company. I just watched them just start dropping people left and right because it was all about the end dollar. It didn't sit very right, and then on top of that, around that same time, I think we were sitting at McDonald's or something like that. We just saw this guy just blow up. He was so upset because he had to wait, 5 minutes for a hot meal, and it kind of hit home, and we realized that it was something that we wanted to step back, get away from a little bit. And around that same time as well, my daughter was born, and we just wanted to raise her in a little bit of a slower pace environment. We wanted her to have that feminine edge, but we also want her to be able to wrestle with the boys as well and be able to keep up.
That's pretty cool, man. So take me through some of the overview basics of what you've got going on at your place.
Well, right now, we're in that awkward situation where we're waiting for that warm weather to come, starting the garden stuff. We got 50 meat birds showing up here pretty soon. We're gonna end up hosting the pigs at our house. See, we live out in farmland and stuff, and we got some just amazing neighbors. And we've never raised pigs, and last year they asked if we wanted to get into it with them, and we just raise a pig down at their place and kind of learn a little bit of the ropes on how they've done it for years. And this year it's going to be our turn to host the pigs, and so that's kind of a fun, exciting thing that's will be showing up here pretty soon. And
well, that's pretty cool, man. Now, a lot of people get to know your channel through your Firewood videos because you are kind of like the Duke of the Dogwood. You're the Seigneur of the chainsaw. You are the undisputed Ali of Firewood on YouTube. And I would even say Wrangler Star could learn a bunch from you. And yeah, I just said that. Here, boom, that just happened. That just happened. And you really bring a lot to the table. And me and my family, we are pretty new to the heating your house with firewood. We've got a wood-burning stove, and I got to tell you what, I've learned a ton from you on the basics of firewood. But now, give us some tips. Give us some tips and tricks that you may not have revealed, or maybe you've revealed them, but they're just really good ones? What are some key things about firewood that people got to know if they're going to heat with firewood?
Dry firewood is key, and how you accomplish that. I mean, you can take multiple approaches, but especially with today's new stoves, they're very, very picky on dry wood. And also, you know, there's a lot of kind of bad, you know, thoughts thrown towards wood at times. A lot of times, you know, it's all the smoke and this and that. A lot of that really comes down to your dry wood, and the drier you get your wood, the closer you are to having a carbon neutral footprint. You know, it's good for the environment. It's a renewable resource. I mean, look at, you know, Japan and the nuclear plant and stuff, and the effects of something like that. I feel pretty good burning firewood. I feel like it's a pretty good solution. Just, you know, all the global climate changes or global warming, whatever they want to call it. I feel like, one, we're heating ourselves at a much cheaper cost, and I feel like we're doing good for the environment at the same time. Plus, it gives me an excuse to get outside. It's that free gym membership, and it's just, I really like getting out in the woods. There's something very, very refreshing. I think they've even done studies on that, you know, with being out in the greenery and stuff like that. It's just good for the spirit. So I don't know. It's something I really love. It's made a big difference for our family. Matter of fact, I feel like it's taken out some of the Minnesotan out of us. We went down to my parents' house over Easter break, and half the time we were in the house, we were so cold, you know, and it wasn't that their house was that cold, but we've had the luxury of
Wood heat,
cranking up that wood stove. And
wood heat it heats differently. It somehow, I don't know how to explain it to people, but it's a vastly different kind of heat over electric. Your house may be technically warm enough with electric, but I still get that chill in my bones. But now when we get this wood stove, we're never going back.
yeah, I mean, even you crawl into bed at night, you know, we used to crawl under cold sheets and stuff, and it's just something, like you said, about that wood heat. It warms you to the bone. There's nothing better than in the fall time. You go out, whether you're hunting or doing something in the cold, and you come into that warm, toasty house. It just feels like home. I don't know.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So tell me about some of the homesteading challenges that you've had, because you're pretty new to this. Only 5 years in. What have been some of your successes and some of the things that have been difficult?
I mean, some of it's just the funds. I mean, we're a young family, you know. Just the funds aren't there, and it's just a slow process. I'd love to have equipment, but sometimes we got to find ways to get things done with what we have. Whether, you know, similar, you guys out working in your dirt pile and moving that around. I mean, a tractor would, but you know, it's a slow moving progress. I think the other area that we've struggled with at times is our garden. My wife's a very green thumb type of person. She does really amazing stuff like that, but every year seems to throw new challenges at us. Like last year, we ended up planting a lot more dill because we do a lot of pickles. But boy, it was just a poor season for us. Even trying to run down to some of the farmers markets and stuff, it was hard to find dill. And you know, that's something we're going to have to address or try to prepare to have a solution in place. I don't know what that is yet, but it's, you know, there's always learning curves. You know, as much as I like to think I've got something figured out, you know, I mean, look at the comments in YouTube. I'm amazed on the stuff I learn from other people and different perspectives and ideas and trying different things. It's life. It's fun.
Well, yeah, you know, we call it YouTube University, because I'll tell you what, any subject that you can imagine, there's 50 people that have already got videos out there on them, and it's really kind of a challenge being a content creator, because in a lot of ways you're like, well, am I just remaking the wheel? I mean, there's a billion videos out on this kind of thing, and in a lot of ways it's really funny. And I was having a conversation with you off air the other day. I kind of try not to watch too many videos that are in my genre, because unless I'm trying to learn something. If I'm trying to learn something, it's Katie bar the door. I consume everything about that topic, and I'll, you know, fire off questions and get all kinds of answers. But if it's something that I'm already doing and I'm doing successfully, I shy away from watching too many videos of that content because I don't want people accusing me of stealing their ideas and stuff, you know?
Yeah,
And it's
I
a
totally.
weird,
There's been
well, it's a weird thing being a content creator because, I'm a musician too. And there's an old saying that when it comes to music, there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, you've only got X amount of notes, you've only got X amount of chords, and you can only arrange them in a certain kind of way that makes sense to the Western ear. And guess what? It's all been done before, baby. All you got to do is try to figure out to put your little teensy weensy little twist, little niche on it. So that brings me to this. How has the YouTube community been treating you?
they're fantastic. I mean, I definitely get the wind knocked out of my sails at times, or I think it's more the pride thing. Sometimes I feel like I got something figured out, and someone's like, "No, buddy, it's this way" or something, and I sometimes get a little upset about it, but then I sit back and reflect, and it's like, I mean, they're just looking to help you out, and it's like, I
Sometimes they're
sometimes
not,
got
dude. Sometimes they're absolutely not.
so
Sometimes they're just like, you are terrible, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
I deal with that, that's life.
Have you had any people that are just like way negative? I've gotten a couple of those so far.
I've been pretty fortunate. Now that I say that, they'll all show up, but um, most everyone that leaves comments and stuff are just it's very encouraging, just very positive things, or hearing their experiences and stories. I really, YouTube has got a great community if you kind of find the right corners and stuff. And I think this whole homesteading stuff is just amazing. You got like Dirt Patch Heaven and Jane All, and I mean, there's just great people around.
I would agree, and that's one of the things that I personally like is the community aspect of it. Is for me specifically, it's the fact that I kind of feel like it's a mission in a way because there's so many people out there who don't know how to do basic life skills that were common knowledge only 30 years ago, 20 years ago. How to do basic things. Like if you ask somebody, most of the friends I have that are like not homestead related, just people that are in my life circle, if you ask them, how do you dig a double dig a hole? They'd look at you like you had three eyes. Like, what's a hole? Why would you dig it twice? And why do I need to know that?
A lot of work.
Well, and it's great. It's great though. But and I kind of view this community as something that is generally very positive. Every once in a while you get a nut, and you just kind of got to go, okay, ha ha ha, buddy, and you move on. But the idea that we're regaining this knowledge that's been gone and we're sharing that, and that's one of the things I like about your channel specifically, is that not only do you communicate the information, but you do it in a good storytelling way, and it's compelling to watch because you're a good videographer.
Thank you. Yeah, it's sometimes it's a struggle too. It's like you said, sometimes you see someone else do something and you don't want to feel like you're stepping on their territory. The other thing too is sometimes there's things that we've come to learn, or has become part of life living out here, that when we originally moved out here that wasn't the case. But sometimes it's kind of hard to think back of some of those things and relay I guess
The experiences.
experiences. And
So, well, like moving forward, what are the springtime is just around the corner for you guys. What is the goal? What is the add-on? Because you said you try to add on something every year. What's the big push for this season?
I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I'm going to try to work out some sort of bargain deal here. We don't have any like big equipment. That's something we're working towards, but I want to go down and talk to one of the farmers, see if we can bargain some sort of deal. I have an ice rink in the backyard, and it's just, well,
Did you say an ice rink?
Yeah, well, it's basically a bermed up area that we flood every year for making an ice rink to play hockey on. Well, the last few winters have just been horrible. So now we're thinking about kind of redesigning our layout a little bit back in our garden area and just making that all into a big huge garden. And then the long-term goal is then to build a chicken coop with two different runs that it's kind of like a garden one year and then a garden the next. So we let the chickens kind of
Yeah.
naturally fertilize, but that's a lot of fencing. I still have to get a coop built and moved over there. So how much of that gets done this year, I'm not sure. And then the big thing is we want to really increase some of our crops. We're getting pretty low on any of our tomato items that we canned. A lot of our tomato sauces and stuff are gone, so we want to up the quantity of our tomatoes. We want to up the quantity of our potatoes. And just kind of be able to find a way to stretch some of those things a little bit further to last us a little bit longer, because it always seems like this time of year, a lot of those items are starting to disappear. So, I mean, it's like, you can always throw money at something. It's like this year is probably going to be expanding our mason jar collection so we can can more, expanding the garden to get more in there. And then the other thing too is we saw a really good video by Doug and Stacy, or Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and they showed how they mix their chicken feed. And we've always bought and store-bought, chicken feed. We try to go towards the organic route. But they put together a video kind of showing how they mixed up their things, their feed to reach around a 16% protein mix. And just recently we tried that. It's been a pretty good thing, and it's a lot of the items that we could easily grow in our garden, like the black oiled sunflower seeds and a lot of different stuff like that. So I think that's something else that we're going to have to try to figure out how to incorporate a little bit. And whether that happens in our garden area or our separate section somewhere else, maybe we even do that out somewhere else that acts as a food plot that then could potentially put a deer on our table come this fall, or pheasants.
Oh, that's nice. All right, so here, we're going to play a little game. You ready?
All right.
Basically, we don't know why this happened, but for some strange reason, $1,000 fell out of the sky into your lap. You can use it on homesteading something. What would you get?
Oh boy, to be honest, I think solar. I would invest some money in a little bit of solar. The thing we struggle with is, we're out here and we're kind of last on the list. If power goes out, there's been times that power's been out for over a week out here, and I'd like to at some point get something in place to be able to run our well, to be able to run our septic, our what do they call that? The thing in the basement.
Sump pump.
Yeah, sump pump. Jeez, I just can't think today. And just be able to run some of those real basic things. Right now we have a generator and stuff, but they talk about an EMP or a financial crisis. And realistically, we can run a generator, but we got to have gas to run that generator. And nowadays, gas stations, I'm sure they'll all run off electric pumps. And how do you get in there besides pulling off the lid and try to siphon something out of there? I'd like to be a little bit better set up for something like that. Plus, just storm season comes, we always seem like we're losing power at some point, and it'd be nice to have a little bit of a kind of a backup, I guess, or a solution in place.
So, hey, company out there, Missouri Wind and Solar, if you're looking for somebody to sponsor or you need someone to wear their hats and stuff, well, first of all, come see me, and then go see Eric over at Life and Farmland, because I'll tell you what, they make great stuff, and they're a great source of information too. So, Missouri Wind and Solar, call him.
Yeah, so, International Harvester too.
Who's that? Oh, yeah, nice. All right, dude, as we're getting ready to round up the interview, talk to the person who is either on the fence and they're thinking about this self-reliant life and they're thinking, man, this is a good idea, or the person who's just barely started. What would your advice to them be?
Start off doing something simple. If you live in the city, maybe start doing a little vegetable garden or something. Start small, because I have to admit, like, if I had to dive in right now where kind of we are and the responsibilities that we have taken on, it could be overwhelming. We've kind of gotten systems in place. We've built up some of our resources. Firewood, for example, I got 30 cords of firewood. 4 by 4 by 8 full cords of firewood sitting out there. But if I had to go out and collect all that and try to work towards my 3-year supply in the future, it's not an overnight project. There's a lot of work. So, I mean, just start off something small and learn, because there's definitely learning curves. I mean, even something like I mentioned, garden, every year we get shown that we have
More to learn. More to
more.
learn. So, well, thank you so much for coming on, dude. And you guys watching this interview, go over right now, pause this or open up a new window and go over to Life in Farmland and just hit subscribe. Trust me, you'll appreciate it. Eric, it has been an awesome, awesome night chatting with you, and I thank you so much for your time.
I thank you for having me on here. I always enjoy getting the chance to chat with you and definitely catch up on your videos and stuff.
I kind of feel like we're cousins or something weird, but I just never get to see you. You don't come to the family parties anymore, and I don't know why.
So you guys are looking for a new piece of property. You just gotta get down the road here. I have no problem. We get a little
dude.
log split
Well,
thing
what's he
going.
going for up there?
I don't.
If it's more than $50 an acre, I might have some trouble. So,
What are you guys looking for? Somewhere around 10 or something like that, right?
oh,
10 acres.
dude, yeah, that would be our dream come true. But I mean, it's life. I'm here and I work at this church and I love my church. So unless God said, yeah, go, I'm here. I'm serving the church. But so anyway, Eric, always a pleasure, dude. You guys have an amazing day. Bye bye.
Thanks.
Bye.